It's such a wonderful period to be a football fan and a football lover. A lot has been happening in the 5 major leagues. Clubs bringing out surprises, and it's a wonderful feeling right now. This is Sport Maestros TV, and we are back again. Today we are going to be talking about the 5 major leagues and the surprise packages in those leagues.
All right.
You know, we say the Champions League was beginning to look like a conference where people come every year and say, welcome back, I'm going to beat you this season.
It was beginning to look like the United Nations permanent member council.
Exactly.
But you know, it's been a number of surprises across the leagues this season. For instance, last year, after a very long time, the EPL flew up Newcastle.
Yes.
This year, they have thrown up Aston Villa.
Yes.
And you know, that's a very good one, you know, especially you look at what Unai Emery has done in the last few years in Europe, from Spain to Arsenal to PSG, back to the EPL. I think it's a fantastic run. It's really a fantastic run for Aston Villa.
Yeah, he has shown his pedigree as a top coach.
Yes.
Yes, he did as a Sevilla with in Europa, and he has done that again, getting Aston Villa into Europe. And if you are going across to La Liga, Girona is what name that comes into mind.
Yeah, and you know, especially so because you know, from the top half of the season, Girona were on top of the La Liga for a long time. Yes, for a long time.
Yes,
and they've been able to do it in a very small stadium. A coach that has not been heralded enough in top flight European football. Players that maybe are on loans, old players. So they've been able to put together a decent team and finish third in the long run.
Okay. Would you say the change in ownership is a major contributing factor to that?
It has been a boost. But don't forget that the ascendancy has been in the last 2 or 3 years.
Yes, it has.
Especially with Michel. Took them from Segunda B. Now they are in La Liga. They are third. Who knows what will happen next season?
And let's go straight to the French Republic.
Okay.
We are talking about the League One.
All right.
And Brest is the surprising name in the league.
Indeed, and then you also look at Lille. Lille has been there, yes, but Brest is totally a newcomer. I don't think they've played in Europe. They've not won the league. So really, it's something to watch. It's something to watch.
So that's why I said it's a very, very wonderful period to be a football lover. It's joyous to have all these teams. Look at Italy. We are talking about Bologna. And the beauty of it is that these teams have qualified for the Champions League already.
And you know, you take Bologna, you mentioned Girona, these teams are going straight into the group stages of the Champions League.
Which is fantastic.
And then you look at what Bologna too has done this season with Thiago Motta at the managerial seat. You look at the way they have played football, how they have held their own against the top teams. They are sitting comfortably in third. Whatever happens, they cannot finish below fifth. And that means, because you know, Italy will be presenting 5 teams, 5 clubs, I beg your pardon, at the Champions League next year. So it's a wonderful thing for them. You know, yes, Atlanta, we've seen what Atlanta can do. Even this season, they are in the final of the Europa. Teams from Italy in the last 5 or 6 years seem to do very well in Europe, also consistently well.
Speaking of Thiago Motta and coaches within his pedigree, I would just like to chip in the champions of Germany right now, leverkusen, and their coach Xabi Alonso, just to chip that in. You know, these young coaches are beginning to perform wonderfully well right now.
You can't take anything away from Xabi Alonso this season. Won the league, won it in record style, won it not losing a game, won it by becoming Europe's club to have had the longest unbeaten streak. Yes. 51 matches already, and just 2 more matches to the end of the season for them.
And I fancy them winning the 2. Just so that he can break that, we can set that record.
On the balance of what has happened in these 51 matches, why can't he win the last 2? So Xabi Alonso has been awesome. Last season we saw them in the Europa, and then they lost in the semi-final. Look at what they have done this season.
So that brings us to the last team.
Okay.
Where I'm talking about the second place team in the Bundesliga, VfB Stuttgart.
All right.
That's another thing. Out of all these 5 teams, VfB Stuttgart has been the only club that has played in the present UCL. The rest have never been to the UCL. But it's been a while. Now they are back, and they've done it in a fantastic fashion.
Well, VfB Stuttgart has been a customer. Like you mentioned, they've been in the Champions League. Won the Bundesliga a number of times. So they've experienced years of boom. So hopefully they get to replicate the success of the early 2000s.
Yes, and if you look at where they're coming from, last season they were battling with relegation. The season before that too, they were battling with relegation. And all of a sudden they are second place. That shows you that football has evolved and teams are beginning to get better. And they are beginning to see the reason to put more money in their developmental process and also go to the markets, get the best scouts to get those players.
So I think it speaks to the fact that more and more it's not about the star player anymore.
Yes.
It's about having a formation that works for the team. It's about team spirit.
Exactly.
It's about the desire of players. Hopefully next season too we'll begin to see more and more of the success stories.
So if you feel the way I feel, and I'm sure Wale feel the same way, and you want these new names to continue to appear in the Champions League, hit the like button, put in the comment section. We want you to continue to encourage us so that we can keep dropping all this for you. And like we said, we are going to be more consistent this time, and we are going to be getting those contests as they hot.
All right.
Yes. Sport Maestros TV right now is saying